My name is Sophia Rosendo. I live in Portland and work at Portside Real Estate Group. So I've always kind of been somebody that people come to for advice, whether it's what restaurant to eat at or, a doctor, any sort of recommendation. I really enjoy helping people, and I think that that's kind of the main point of real estate, is to help people achieve their goals and get into, a home and or move on to their next transition in life. So I think I'm good at it. Well, me and my fiance, we love the outdoors. We just booked a camping trip in Lemoyne, just outside of Acadia National Park for the summer, early June. We go to Baxter State Park almost every summer, climb Katahdin, planning a canoe trip as well down the St. Croix River. So we really just love being outdoors. We love to cook, especially in quarantine. We've been cooking a lot at home since we can't go out. Really miss going out, but love that. Love to cook. So I started in 2012. I got an internship at a real estate auction company called Trans-On Auction Properties right in Portland. I then got licensed and worked for that company for 7.5 years, representing lenders, banks, financial institutions, and selling real estate exclusively at auction. So it's completely, similar, but a lot of differences. Early on in my career, when I first started, there was a lot of foreclosures and bank-owned properties. So our clients that we worked with were mostly financial institution lenders. And I worked a lot with the buyers coming who were interested in that property. And I really liked that kind of personal connection that I made with these people. What drew them to the property, just the stories of their lives. And then, as the economy got better, I started working more and more with private sellers who just had a unique property, high-end properties. Maybe it was hard to comp out, so they hired us to sell it at auction, kind of just a different strategy. And I really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed working with those private sellers and buyers and just making that personal connection. Oh my gosh, it's a little wild. There's just not, unfortunately, there's just not a lot of inventory. There's not a lot of houses to sell. And there's an influx of people coming in from out of state, which, drives up competition. So, we're seeing houses with 17 to 30 offers on them. And it's just really, knowing that only one person gets that house and the other 29 people are still out there looking. It's just a challenge. I think, I think there's a lot more out of state people coming in. I think people are, there's a lot of activity in Portland and greater Portland area, but I grew up in the mid-coast, Damascotta area, and I think you're seeing people who maybe want to get out of Portland a little bit too, so are heading up towards that mid-coast area. So I think, Portland market is super strong, and I just think it's expanding beyond that to other communities that, offer that more of a small town feel, but still have amenities nearby. And I think mid-coast is hot right now. Okay, you always want to be pre-approved first. You can, I always work with buyers in their particular situation, whether maybe they don't have enough of, a high enough down payment. But there's other ways to position yourself. People are writing really great letters to sellers, trying to connect on an emotional level, shortening up that due diligence period. That's when you do your building inspection and research the property. typical 7 to 10 days. If you can, if you have relationships with building inspectors and you can get them in there immediately, and contractors, if you shorten that up, that's a lot less risky for your seller. So it's all about making it an attractive offer to the seller, minimizing risks for them, while still doing, everything you need to do as a buyer to ensure that you're buying something that you want to buy and that you're happy about. Try to save up a little bit more money for a down payment. If you're losing out just on offers, because that's happening, just continue to save. Maybe you can bump up from putting 5% down to 10% down, and that's only going to help you. I think there's just so much to offer. I mean, you're right on the water, you have the mountains, and it's all within kind of a short drive, not so trafficky. It's just a little bit slower paced here. There's still, there's a great food scene. There's all these different activities you can do, good schools. I think it's safe. I think people, are kind of just drawn to it for that. It's been written up a bunch of times lately in different publications, and I think people, maybe they have a connection. But I also worked with several buyers this year that I'm like, what's your connection to Maine? Why Maine? They're like, I don't know, we just like it. Yeah. Maybe they had been here once, but not even. So I was kind of surprised to hear that. So I think it's not only people who have a connection, but it's people who are just hearing good things about it. And I think with all the natural resources and stuff, it's a great place to be. I hope that it evens out a little, so these buyers aren't competing in such a tough way. I think that it's going to continue to be in a very attractive place to live. I think you have to just be super diligent. You always have to be, looking at the MLS, looking at what's coming on, researching properties. I think you have to be a good communicator. You have to, follow up with people. You have to ask the questions. It's such a competitive market. You have to call the listing agent and say, what's the seller's preferred date? You have to find out what makes this attractive to the seller. Consistency, following up, I think all of that, is very important in order to be successful. You can call my cell phone, email me, text, Instagram, Facebook. You can follow me at Portland, Maine Real Estate. On Instagram, same thing for Facebook. Email is sophia@portsidereg.com.